This chapter is integration, not new information, mastery. Each chapter on its own is useful, but none of them are the system by themselves. The system is what happens when every chapter locks together into one repeatable flow that runs the same way every time. That's the difference between most shops and champion shops. Most shops rely on talent, memory, and effort. The process changes based on who's working and how busy it is. Results are inconsistent. Customers feel that inconsistency, and trust never compounds. Champion shops don't run on talent or luck. They run on system discipline, and this chapter shows how the system works as one complete unit. Here's the first truth. The system only works when both roles execute it. Advisor excellence without technician excellence creates weak digital vehicle inspections, the DVI, and low approvals. Technician excellence without advisor excellence creates strong inspections with poor presentation and poor decisions. When both roles execute together, trust builds automatically, approvals happen without pressure, and loyalty grows. We win together or lose together. Here's the second truth. Mastery is repetition, not perfection. A weak mindset says, I'll run the system when I have time. A champion mindset says, I run the system every time, especially when it's chaotic because the system creates control. The goal isn't perfect days. The goal is consistent execution. Here's how the system flows. First contact and setup. The advisor captures the concern in the customer's words, sets expectations, creates the repair order, launches the DVI template immediately, assigns the technician immediately, and pulls vehicle history while the inspection begins. The technician reads the concern, knows the clock, stages tools, and starts immediately. No limbo. The first 5 minutes determine whether the rest of the visit feels smooth or chaotic. Live inspection and parallel execution. The technician inspects and uploads in real time. The advisor reviews in real time. The estimate starts forming while the inspection is still happening. This parallel workflow keeps the customer calm and keeps the shop on time without rushing. Quality gates and standards. A finished DVI is not automatically presentation ready. The advisor runs the acceptance gate. Proof, measurements, color logic, and clarity must be present before anything reaches the customer. Weak items are sent back early, not defended later. The technician runs a final quality check before submitting. 2 checks protect the system better than 1. Estimate building and presentation. The DVI is discovery. The estimate is the decision point. The advisor organizes findings into clear priorities: do now, plan soon, optional. Presentation starts with proof, not price. The customer understands before they see totals. That's how approvals happen without pressure. Handling doubt and objections. Doubt is not rejection. It's a request for clarity. The advisor listens, identifies the real question, and ties the answer back to proof. The technician's measurements, photos, and notes make that possible. When the DVI is strong, the advisor doesn't argue. They show. Documentation and follow-up. The process doesn't end when the customer decides. Approvals and declines are documented. The DVI link is sent. Follow-up is scheduled. The next visit is planned. This closes the loop so nothing falls through the cracks, and declined items become tracked priorities instead of future surprises. Comebacks and difficult conversations. Every shop faces trust tests. Champion shops pass them by listening first, acknowledging quickly, investigating calmly, resolving fast, and following up afterward. The DVI becomes the factual record that protects the shop and guides resolution. This is what integration looks like in real life. The customer experiences the same high standard every visit. The advisor never sounds like they're guessing. The technician's work is always defensible. The shop stays on time without rushing. Comebacks drop. Friction drops. Reputation grows. That's why the system is greater than the sum of its parts. And mastery happens one way: disciplined repetition. Run the same flow every time. Run it until it becomes muscle memory. Stop relying on talent to save the day. Rely on a system that works even on chaotic days. That's champion mastery.
For the technician, mastery means one thing: running the same inspection system every time, in the same order, with the same standards, no matter how busy the day gets. Champion technicians don't rely on memory, shortcuts, or "I'll remember that." They rely on the system, because the technician drives the entire flow forward. If the inspection starts late, everything starts late. If the inspection is unclear, everything becomes unclear. If the inspection is inconsistent, the advisor loses confidence and the customer loses trust. That's why mastery in the Bay isn't about being fast. It's about being repeatable. Every inspection follows the same structure. You start by reading the repair order and the customer concern. In their words, you know what they're worried about and what clock you're on before you touch the car. Waiting customer or drop off. That determines pace and priority. You stage your tools before you begin. No hunting. No scrambling. If your tools aren't ready, you're already behind. Then you run the inspection in order. Walk around first. Document obvious damage if it matters. Dash lights and stickers next. That gives early context to the advisor. Under hood and concern verification comes early. If the customer came in for a noise, a warning light, or a drivability issue, that gets addressed and documented clearly, verified or not verified. That single note often determines whether the customer trusts the entire inspection. Then, the lift. Tires measured in 30 seconds. Brakes measured in millimeters. Suspension checked with visual or movement evidence. Every red or yellow item gets proof. Measurements are never guessed. Photos are clear and readable. Then, under vehicle. Leaks documented properly. Drivetrain, exhaust, frame checked and noted clearly. Mileage-based and long-term items come next. And before you hit complete, you run one final quality check. You ask yourself, is the customer concern addressed? Does every red and yellow item have measurements and proof? Do colors match locked ranges? Are notes clear enough to make sense months from now?
That final check is what prevents comebacks.
The second part of mastery is real-time upload. Champion technicians do not batch upload at the end. Batch uploads break the system. When you upload as you go, the advisor can review as you work. The estimate builds in parallel. Weak items get caught early. The presentation stays on time. When you upload late, the advisor sits blind. Then everything feels rushed, even if the inspection was good. Your third responsibility is standard discipline. Colors must match locked ranges. Measurements must match colors. Notes must be customer readable. End delay is rare and explained. That consistency is what makes the advisor confident and the shop defensible. The last part of mastery is professionalism under pressure. When the advisor sends something back, it's not personal. It's system protection. When a comeback happens, you don't get defensive. You recheck calmly. If you made a mistake, you own it and fix it. Then you tighten the process so it doesn't happen again. That's how mastery grows. When you run the system consistently, everything downstream becomes easier. The advisor presents calmly. The customer understands. Approvals happen without pressure. Comeback drop. Your bay stays full. That's champion level execution in the bay.
When I go to a shop more than once, what I want most is consistency. I want the same experience every visit, not one good day and one confusing day. I want to feel like the shop has a system, not just good people trying their best. When a shop runs a clear process, I can feel it right away. The advisor listens and explains what's going to happen. The inspection comes back with photos and measurements. The priorities are clear. The estimate makes sense. I don't feel rushed or pressured. When I ask questions, the answers tie back to proof instead of opinions. That makes me trust the recommendations more. I also notice what happens after the visit. When the shop sends me the inspection link, I feel like I have a record. When they follow up after the work is done, it tells me they care about the result, not just the sale. And if something goes wrong, how the shop responds matters more than the problem itself. If they listen, take it seriously, and fix it quickly, my trust actually increases. If they get defensive or dismissive, I lose confidence fast. The reason I stay loyal isn't because nothing ever goes wrong. It's because the experience feels honest, organized, and consistent every time. When a shop runs a system like this, I don't feel sold. I feel respected, and that's the kind of shop I come back to.